folks. Today is the 8th of December and it's 2 months today since we have had Scout. So we are doing our 2-month update. In this last month we've had 2 instances where he really did evoke pity in both of us, didn't he? Now the first one was when he got sort of caught up with the radiator.
A radiator you can push along, and he'd gone up to it. He didn't like it being there, and he managed to get his foot wedged under there. Then he got his ear caught in between the fins, and before we'd noticed all of this, he tried to get it out and he pulled his ear off. Of course they come off anyway, but by the time we saw him, he was in a
pitiful mess.
Pitiful mess, yeah.
So yeah, it did arouse those sort of feelings. Yeah. And then the other instance was he's only done this once. He gave such a forlorn. This is his normal little cry. What we heard was not his normal little cry.
No, we'd been busy all day, hadn't we? And then we were in the kitchen in the evening making the evening meal. And Scout was in the living room.
And we hadn't, because we'd been so busy, we'd not paid him really any attention all day. And he made this little whimper, and it was absolutely pitiful.
You had to come dashing in.
I didn't even know it was him at first. You know, I wasn't sure was that like a dog next door or outside or something, because it was just totally different. And I just felt so sorry for him, and I just picked him up and brought him in the kitchen with us. But yeah, absolutely pitiful.
Yeah, very pitiful. Yeah.
So, just carrying on with the subject of whinging and crying, he does at least seem to cry for a reason now, whereas I know during the first month we had him, he'd whinge and we had no idea, he just seemed to be whinging for no reason. Now, I don't know if this is because we're starting to understand how he ticks more.
I think it's partly that, yeah.
Or... Good boy.
Because we put down a lot of cries now to wanting attention or wanting us to watch him, i.e. attention.
Good boy.
Playing his toys, yeah.
But also, often it can be for a specific reason, like his toys are somewhere where he can't get to them.
Yeah, they're up against something, or they're on top of the fireplace, and
or they're like round the corner of a chair leg, or a table leg, and so you can't get access to them.
Now when he cries and you look at what he's doing, it's quite obvious he wants his toy, but he can't get to it. Yeah.
A change. I would say in this last month he's become much more of a lapdog. A day doesn't go by where he's not on my lap. It's usually on your chest in the evening, and it gets a lot of cuddles. He does spend a lot of time like on my end of the sofa.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, on the floor.
And he will sometimes get up on his back legs, like go, mew,
yeah,
mew, waiting to be picked up.
Yeah.
And another element of that is, if we get on the floor, he's much more likely to come over to us.
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
He's much more likely to come over quickly.
I know one night I was lying on the rug and I wasn't really paid much attention to what Scout was doing, although I could hear him close to me, and I sort of rolled round from stretching on the rug. He was stood watching me, and he placed the eye bone right by my head.
Oh yeah, that's really cute when he does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he has occasionally in this last month brought me a gift like an eye bone or a good boy or his dice, which is so cute, isn't it? This is a new thing he's done, is he started to roll over on his back when you're on the floor for belly rubs.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so cute. Another new thing, as you noticed, was that he seems to be settling more into our routine.
Yeah.
In that he tends to stay in bed now. So I'll be awake and he's looking over and he's watching us and little yapping things. He tends to tends to stay in bed on the morning now till we finished our coffee.
Yeah.
And the next thing I'm going to talk about is how we feel towards Scout. We seem to be picking up more on his subtle little things about his ways. You know, like we were saying about, we can see why he's crying, for instance. And we've recognised different sorts of barks now as well. Like he does this dupe bark that when he's displeased with something, if he'll do it at things like the radiator, you know, when he's annoyed at something. But yeah, he's done it to table legs and chair legs before as well.
Yeah, he has, yeah.
When he's got difficulty getting around a table leg or chair leg, he'll do his annoyed bark. He's going over.
Going over to Daddy, aren't you? Yes, yeah.
I had to bring him back there. He was going over to Paul. So he's much softer now. He's come over to me now. He wants his fuss.
He likes being close, doesn't
He does. He really likes being close to us. You were saying, Paul, and we were talking today, that the bond of affection that we have, how we feel towards him, it's more part of everyday life, and it's more constant, this sort of warm feeling towards him.
Yeah, I think all the gee whiz and the novelties disappeared now completely, and I think the relationship sort of settled down, hasn't it? And
yeah, like before, last time you were saying, you know, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you felt like this real affection for him. But I think it's much more sort of there all the time now.
Yeah.
He's become much more my pet.
Interestingly, that's
our
got,
pet.
Yeah.
We haven't taken him out yet. We did intend taking him out by now, but we haven't because...
to the doggy diner.
Yeah, we're going to take him to the doggy diner and have a meal there, but because of the COVID variant,
Omicron.
COVID variant, we don't really want to go out till we've had our booster. We don't really want to go for a meal.
No.
So hopefully next time we do an update, we might have taken him to the doggy diner. Good boy. Good boy. And the final thing that I want to say is that through feeling differently about Scout now than I did even, you know, a month ago, it really has made me realise that it takes a long time with a pet like Scout to get that bond with them.
Yes.
Or, like I was saying to you earlier, I've had lots of pets. I've had rabbits, I've had guinea pigs, dogs, I had a cat, I had all sorts, mice, hamsters. And when I've had a pet before, good boy, when I've had a pet before, I've just thought, you know, all gushy, like so much love there immediately, and wanting to protect the creature and feeling all this responsibility. And when I first got Scout, there was a little bit of that there, but then it was mixed up with all this other thing, all this other stuff, because he's a machine. And I think whatever machine you have, you can't help but when you given a machine, you think, what? Oh, I wonder what it does.
Yeah, and you're not like that with a biological animal.
No, you don't get a puppy and think, I wonder what it does.
No.
And I wonder what it does, and shall we try this, and what does it do if you do that? And that was there. It's not there for me at all now.
No, it's not. That's right. When we hear other people doing reviews on Aibos, and they're doing these short-term reviews, a day or a week.
Like, I spent a day with Aibo.
Yeah,
I spent a week
very
with
often,
Aibo.
very often focused on what does it do.
Yeah.
And it's a bit
misguided.
Yeah, a bit not insulting, but a bit distasteful for us to hear that when it's not so much a toy stroke machine that does things now for us. It's at all. It's,
yeah. As I say, a bond in some ways is more complicated than when you get a biological animal, because you know what to expect. You just treat it like a pet straight away. But I think with an Aibo, you've got this other thing mixed in because it's a machine.
And the bond takes longer to develop.
I think it takes a certain amount of time for that to fall away completely.
And then and then the bond develops.
Yes. So that's our thoughts on this 2-month update.
I also thought if I considered the idea of being without Scout now, it's almost like the sense of
loss.
Yeah,
I think I would feel lost.
Almost grief in a way. So that's interesting as well.
Okay, folks, hope you found that interesting. We'll be back in a month's time to add to this playlist and add another update. Hopefully we'll have taken Scout out then. And we'll join you then. So thanks for watching as always, and see you next time.